called macrolides, which treat common bacterial infections, including pneumonia, strep throat, ear and skin infections, and sexually transmitted diseases. Researchers have tried to revamp the chemistry of these antibiotics to make them more effective against resistant strains, but they've had little success so far. The chemical structure of macrolides is difficult to manipulate, and the raw materials that go into making them are produced in large vats of industrial bacteria, not an easy process to tweak with any precision. Chemists have been hamstrung for decades, says Andrew Myers, a professor of chemistry and chemical biology at Harvard University. Recently, though, Myers and his team figured out a practical method for creating macrolides from the ground up. To do this, they break down the structure of macrolides into 8 simple building blocks and then reconstruct them in different forms, tinkering with the chemistry as they go. In a research paper published this past May in Nature, Myers's group reported synthesizing more than 300 novel compounds. Tested against 14 pathogenic bacteria, the majority kept microbes at bay, and some could conquer drug-resistant strains. Since then, the researchers have made another 500-plus new compounds, and Myers has started a company, Macrolide Pharmaceuticals, to commercialize drugs produced by the process. The group has begun work on 2 additional classes of antibiotics, lincosamides and aminoglycosides. Only a handful of the compounds they create will become practical antibiotics, and even those have a long way to go before they reach pharmacies. But Myers is hopeful that research such as his own will help defeat superbugs. "I have every optimism that as we continue to explore," he says, "this is only going to get better." 3. Quantum satellites are a big step toward the unhackable Internet. Perfectly secure cryptography requires no technology more exotic than pencil and paper. Choose a random string of letters and numbers to serve as the key for an enciphered message. Write the key down on a piece of paper, use it once, and then burn the paper. The trick is to make sure no one intercepts or tampers with the key, and on the Internet, keys are stolen or tampered with all the time. Quantum key distribution, or QKD, solves this problem by creating a single-use key out of entangled photons, particles of light, whose quantum states are linked. Any disturbance of one particle instantaneously mirrors itself in the other one, no matter how far away. The problem with QKD is that no one has figured out how to transmit entangled photons over large distances. This past August, however, the Chinese Academy of Sciences took a big step towards solving that problem when it put the world's first quantum satellite into orbit. The program, called Quantum Experiments at Space Scale, or QUESS, is a collaboration with the Austrian Academy of Sciences. The idea is to use the satellite to transmit quantum keys to 2 observatories on opposite sides of China, about 1,200 kilometers apart, more than 8 times farther than the current distance record. According to Scientific American editorial board advisor and physicist Anton Zeilinger, whose team set that record in 2012, and who is currently collaborating with his former student John Pan, now QUESS's chief scientist, a space-based platform was the only option. "Tell me any location on Earth where you can look 1,000 kilometers, he says. If the Chinese researchers set a new distance record, future satellites could provide an orbiting platform for unhackable quantum Internet, in which packets of encrypted data have their security vouchsafed by the laws of physics. "We hope to establish intercontinental quantum communication," Zeilinger explains. "It's not just a science fiction idea, it's how computers in the future will talk to each other." 4. Ingestible robots perform surgery from inside the body. The more advanced a medical intervention is, it seems, the less invasive it is to perform. For example, bariatric surgery once entailed opening a patient's abdomen from navel to diaphragm. Today, such operations are done laparoscopically through incisions mere centimeters in size. Now,